Hello and good morning, everybody. This is Brett with Anvil Music Media. We turn research into results that matter. Thank you for joining this live, and if you're watching on the non-live version, which maybe you possibly watch later, appreciate your support as we discuss tech news, artificial intelligence, the war the war between famous five, the great five: Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Apple, Facebook, Meta. I think that's five. Just named them off. And we will see where we're going. This is a AI war, artificial intelligence war, and we're clearly the battleground. Thank you to those who, while I'm waiting for people to get online, thank you to those who joined my last live. It was a fun live. We just kind of came on, and you guys were commenting all over the place. So I appreciate the engagement. I mean, that's what we seek to trade ideas and information, and just sort of a fun space to be in, So, and then today we're going to continue that conversation. The last live was sort of talking about the Apple upcoming update, software update, iOS 18.1, and how it could change some things. And I think change means not alter the course of what Apple's doing, but Apple's sort of trying to get themselves in the game of AI and generative text and generative technology and next word technology, if you will. They're really trying to get their head in the game. And if you can imagine for a moment, I sort of parallel this to a restaurant, right, that has been amazing for years and years. Service is impeccable. People love it. Young people love it. They come to it. They order. They get their food. It's just like the latest food combinations. And then all of a sudden, other restaurants seem to come to the picture and start not really mimicking, but actually providing other products, which causes this main restaurant to sort of have sort of like a come to Jesus moment. Like, where are we? Where do we stand? Because we've got all of this different competition of restaurants around us that's not only providing good service, but their service is competitive to what we're doing, and it's actually bringing new ideas to the table in terms of how they serve food, how they cook food, their customer service, and their interaction with their customers. And all of a sudden, this big restaurant is finding itself at a crossroads of asking, which way should we go? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly where Apple is. So this conversation is just me kind of talking about my feelings in terms of the future of AI and how it sort of interacts with, or how it's tied into these phones and Apple products and how they're going to do this. I think it's a pretty decent conversation, right? So, and while you're listening, while you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. So I've been reading and kind of researching articles on AI and generative technology, and it's kind of some eye-opening things. I've been listening to some other podcasts. Yes, that's what I do. I kind of gather the information, but I always like to interpret it the way I see it and the way I see how I fit, or my opinion on these things. Now, artificial intelligence, believe it or not, is it's machine learning. So they are currently in the process of learning, and it's really learning to be like a human, right? Like how to think like a human. All 5 of your senses, the computers, believe it or not, they're teaching the computers how to function with all five senses. Touch, hearing, taste. Now, which is weird, like, because they're teaching, like, so they're teaching the computers how to, like, what's your taste buds, what sort of foods that you taste. I find that just, like, interesting. Now, and I heard somebody was saying it on a podcast, they wouldn't want a computer sort of like acquiring a taste of somebody, because we all have different tastes, right? Literally and figuratively, we all have different tastes in food. So I thought that was interesting. But there are companies that are testing this out and they're trying this out. Of course, we've got the big Chat GPT that's out there. This is next. This is learning, AI, generative learning, in which it's this big basket of information from the internet that they have sort of stolen. Like, I know it's not really stolen, but they're sort of taking the information and put it in little pockets of technology inside this computer. And when I go into type into ChatGPT, when I prompt it, the information it gives me is from a collection of, it's sort of grouped different sets of information across the web, and it puts it into math formulas. So it's not a language model at all. Like, AI is not a language. It's actually literally a whole bunch of very specific or very intense or complex equations that it's actually answering you based off of a bunch of equations. Of course, that the companies have fed it over years and years and years of feeding it information, and they kind of like, and of course also combine the internet information that it's grabbed. It's answering you with a math equation. Now, you're getting language, but it's actually math behind the language. So, anyway, I sort of love the learning of how, because that's the main thing. Like, we got to kind of learn what's going on, and we got to kind of get in the dirt of computer and technology, so that we can kind of see what's happening in our world. Like, and so that's kind of where I am now. How we connect this to Apple and Apple's new update, in which they're going to be releasing AI technology with their new update 18.1. I've been talking about it for the past week. We sort of connect this because we can make this connection because Apple, like I shared in my earlier sort of halfway explained scenario of the big restaurant who had all the customers and had all the people. Now they find themselves in strict competition with the little restaurants that have popped up all over the place. Now, you can imagine, like, okay, I heard this parallel. You can imagine artificial intelligence as being, there's so many different forms of artificial intelligence, right? It's so many different forms, right? So the way it was explained to me was, it's just like buying a car, or the ability to purchase a car. It's a vehicle to get you from point A to point B. That's literally what artificial intelligence is. Now, the car that you buy, it depends on what car you like, what car you prefer. You know what car is going to get you from home to work, what car is going to provide a supply chain company a way for cargo or for products to get from one place to another. So they're different cars or different methods of transportation, so to speak, with AI. Like, it's not just one thing. You basically, you as the human, you choose what type of AI technology that you want to use, and businesses, and obviously businesses and everybody else, that there's so many different ways to use it. So it's not just one size fits all. It's according to how you see the world and how you function and show up in the world. This AI technology is supposed to sort of supplement that. So I'm not as excited as I thought I would be with what Apple is releasing. So number one, there is an issue with Apple's computer chips, and they're trying to figure out how to effectively integrate new AI technology into their chip. So I think it's the A17 chip. Basically, it's a bunch of the computer chips that Apple's made. They've got to figure out language to integrate this. Now, the newer products, Apple has newer products, and I think this is going to take sort of time. They have newer products that they're releasing, like the iPhone 16. They've got a iPad mini that's coming out. They've got other computers. And of course, their later computers are sort of like up to date. But like, if you have, I say, for example, if you have an iPhone 14 or a 10, it's going to be very hard for Apple to get this AI technology to your phone or to your device if it's dated, if that makes sense. And so that's problem number one for what Apple has to sort of figure out. And of course, we know as technology, progresses, I believe they'll figure it out, but like, it's not totally there. The number two problem that I sort of see, and I've heard, Apple is about 2 whole years behind in their technology, in their AI technology specifically. And back to that restaurant again. Apple's the big restaurant delivering the goods for years, and all of a sudden there are new other restaurants coming up. Microsoft, Google. Now, they're not physical restaurants, guys. I'm making a comparison or a parallel or a scenario. All of these other restaurants are popping up and have been working on this technology that Apple was focusing on other things. I don't know what. Well, we can give examples. Apple, they X'd the car. They had a whole plan to build an Apple car. They recently had the goggles, the Vision goggles, which are all but extinct. They're still selling them, but it's not for profit at all. So they're trying to like jump back in this game that they've kind of been out of. And there's rumors. I read an article. Mark Gurman, look him up. He's sort of like an Apple insider. I don't think he works for Apple or anything, but like, he gets inside intel, which is all rumors, right? I mean, it's all rumors, but I think this rumor is actually a pretty truthful one. He's actually really, what he's saying is Apple's technology is about 2 years behind, and that's not really good. It's not really a good sign. it's also rumored that their artificial intelligence are about 30% less functionality than the current space of artificial, or those who are like ChatGPT and Gemini. There are they're like thousands of other companies, and so Apple is 20 to 30% less functional. So I mean, this is just my sort of warning to you to to let you know that it's not gonna, probably will not be the greatest release. Now we're gonna see how this happens and what happens. So yeah, I just want to kind of talk a little bit more in depth about that, and we can continue to chat on this subject as the date still remains. We don't totally know when this software is going to be released, but this is sort of where we are. Hey Kayla, how's it going? Yeah, it is pretty bad. It depends on it's kind of bad. Aaron Jones, hey, good morning, how's it going? Raw, I'm scared of AI. Yeah, I mean, I would say don't be scared of it. There's an argument in how people are saying that they're like gonna lose jobs as a result of it, and you're not gonna lose jobs as a result of AI. You're not gonna lose a job to an AI computer or whatever. You're gonna lose you would lose a job to a person who is using AI. So I would encourage, anything that you're scared of, sort of get your research, do your research on it. So that's that. Anyway, thank you guys for joining. Sorry for the hard stop, but yeah, if you didn't get a chance to watch this video, I think this is pretty informal. Go back and watch it in the beginning, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and we'll talk to you soon. Alrighty.